How's it going, everybody? Decella Joker's back, and I just want to say before anything, thank you to every single one of you that subscribed, has watched my videos, has liked, has commented, anything. Genuinely, if it wasn't for you guys, I would never have hit 1,000 subs, and I don't think I would have ever hit it even as soon as I even did if I were to hit this anytime in the future. The fact I hit this within about 5.5 to 6 months of me starting content creation has been honestly a blessing that I don't think it could have ever happened again, genuinely. I want to say that right now that thank you to every single one of you once again, and thank you to everyone that voted on the poll. A super majority of you wanted a Q&A video, and so I'm going to provide you guys with a great Q&A video, hopefully. Let's get started right away with this Q&A video, and I want to start this off with a question from SuperCulty64. And SuperCulty asks, what is my favorite video game franchises, or my favorite video game of all time? To start off, my favorite video game franchises are Xenoblade Chronicles, Yakuza, and brand newly added is Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame is newly added because I started variety streaming it, and it's been very scary and very fun. I've enjoyed it so freaking much, it's not even funny. Yakuza is a long-standing series that I honestly love every single game for the most part. I enjoy it. They're all funny, they're all really cool. They make me feel like I'm having some of the most fun in the world. And Xenoblade Chronicles genuinely is just a franchise that I have loved ever since I was a teenager, and I honestly think it's one of the most impactful for me because it was the first real game that got me into the JRPG genre. And if it wasn't for Xenoblade Chronicles, I would never have played as many games as I probably would have to this day. When it comes to my favorite video game of all time, it's very hard to pin because I love Nier Automata, I love Hi-Fi Rush, I love Xenoblade Chronicles, I love Yakuza Like a Dragon, but I think there's one game that really stands out for me as my favorite, and that is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. This game is genuinely like one of the most amazing games I've played. It is super cool, the characters are badass, the music is just peak, the controls are super responsive, and overall it's just so much fun to play. I've played maybe over 800 hours of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance just on my Xbox 360 alone, and I just cannot get enough of it. I even listen to the music regularly on Spotify. It's honestly a game that has brought me into gaming itself, and if it wasn't for this game, I probably don't think I would, again, just like Xenoblade Chronicles, I probably wouldn't have really played video games all too much, and I would have grown up to just be your average college student for the most part. Going into a question from GeoI5N, and Geo has a few questions here, but I am going to answer all of them. First off, who do I main in Crossworlds outside of Ichiban and Eggman? My current mains outside of Ichiban and Eggman are actually Miku and Joker. I used Miku and Joker a ton in Legend Comp 1 and 2. Started playing some Zavok here and there. Started playing AI Storm because the Zaman mod came out from Zoro Carlos. Very good mod. So I would say Miku, Joker, AI Storm, and some Zavok here and there. Easily my favorites. For my least favorite Crossworld, Skyroad, I don't even want to get into it. I just don't like the layout. I don't like how it plays. It just feels wrong for me. I just don't like it. Do I play with a controller? I actually do play with a controller. I play with a PS4 controller, and on my streams I actually have a controller display, so if you've ever joined my streams, you can see my controller inputs for every match I play in Crossworlds, and I'll probably be doing the same for if I ever stream other variety games, such as maybe some fighting games. I'll use my fight stick, things of that nature. Finally, opinion on the Captain Majima Festival. Honestly, outside of the fact that Shootout was in the rotation and Spindrift wasn't, both of those made me very upset. Banning the ring engines to make it more enjoyable to where you had to actually play towards the festival condition a bit more actually was really cool. I'm very happy about it, and the ring engines are just so strong that it kind of warps festival heavily, so I think that they deserved a ban. Even though a lot of people didn't like it, I feel like it was definitely a smart choice. I think it was overall fun. Going into the next question from Goddess Emerald. Emerald asked, what is my favorite build that I've ever used in Crossworlds, and is there anything that in general that I want to remember about this journey because of that build? The big thing is that when it comes to the builds that I enjoy, there's definitely a few builds. Snake Stream, which is my primary build that I've used since back in like early December, late November, probably been my most important build. It's brought me up to where I am as a player. There's my Dark Child Monster Truck starter build that I really love. I think it's very funny. And then there's my Spindrift builds. All of them have been super fun. They've all helped me a lot to become a better player, or they've provided me so much fun with the game that has kept me constantly playing. But I think Snake Stream is my favorite build, specifically with Miku or Joker with full Trail Runner. The build is genuinely what made me who I am with Crossworlds and has allowed me to compete heavily with players during the Ultimate Charge meta, especially in Legend Comp Round 1. I feel like if it wasn't for Snake Stream, I probably would not have enjoyed Crossworlds nearly as much, and I don't think I would even have gotten any legs to stand on when it comes to disgusting Crossworlds related information, or in general even streaming. I probably would only be just your average streamer, genuinely, and it's honestly all thanks to Snake Stream, genuinely. Going into a question from Henry Diamond. Henry Diamond asks, what makes me stay interested and involved in the game despite all the things going against it? And not only that, is Eggman my favorite Sonic character? So I'm going to first start off with, is Eggman my favorite Sonic character? And I want to say yes. Eggman's easily my favorite favorite Sonic character. I just think he's very funny. I think he's also very intimidating. He can be really badass, especially in the comics. He's really intense as a character. But if it wasn't Eggman, I'd probably say my next favorite character is E102 Gamma. And as a spoiler warning for a game that's over 25 years old, if you haven't played Sonic Adventure 1, go to this timestamp. But Gamma's story is honestly very interesting. He gets that feel of human emotions and learns about human emotions through the course of his story mode in Sonic Adventure 1, from what I at least recognized. And honestly, him sacrificing his life for a family of birds to me was like kind of a heart-wrenching moment in a lot of ways, especially when I was a kid. I actually thought it was so sad and made me so incredibly sad as a kid. As for what keeps me involved and interested in Crossworlds, I genuinely think it's the untapped potential that a lot of gadgets and gadget builds have. Like, I feel like the game has just so much untapped potential with some of these more fun gadgets because there's always one specific standout gadget combo that is just so strong that it overpowers everything and nothing can compete with it unless you play that specific build. So that's why I really loved Legend Compound 2 a lot, is because everyone could actually build unique stuff and actually do unique things a little bit more, and it wasn't just one central combo that was just so broken that everyone had to play it. I think honestly, as time has gone on though, the issues have become more apparent and more prevalent to the gameplay and has caused many issues for me, and it's harder for me to keep ignoring them, and the more I try to ignore them, the more I mentally suffer and I get more upset with the game because I know this game has a lot that it can improve upon. I've actually already planned on posting variety content and streaming, and I've been streaming variety a little more often because Crossworlds is just very hard to enjoy right now. I struggle to find a lot of good topics as well to speak on when it comes to Crossworlds, and most builds that I would like to talk about, I just reasonably can't make content on it because Double Ring Engine right now and Ultimate Charge in the previous patch basically made all builds kind of feel bad, especially against like really good players. It's very hard to justify saying, hey, this build's really fun, especially when you're going against 5 Double Ring Engine players that are just going to automatically wipe the floor with you, you know? It makes it very hard to want to make content because of that. I really do think Crossworlds can improve. I think I've still got a couple ideas for Crossworlds for fun stuff that are interesting ideas, but right now I am going to heavily struggle with making Crossworlds content, and I'm going to probably start moving forward with splitting some content with other games, so doing a little more variety, doing some stream highlights, things of that nature. But I would like to see Crossworlds improve genuinely, and I think the devs can do it. It's just going to be a very long and hard road ahead. Next, a couple questions from Snadovich.
Let's say Sega breaks in your house and threatens you with infinite monster trucks to make additions to the game. No, please, no!
Snadovich has a few questions. So, what are my top 5 characters that are like added? Genuinely, Bayonetta, Travis Touchdown, Zomom, Chaos Zero, and Surge. I think all of them are really cool, they're really funny, or in general, they're just super goofballs like Zomom and Travis. I just love them all. They're honestly super great characters. Are there any Sonic locations that have Dynasty as courses? I think there's a couple I can name off the top of my head, such as Twinkle Park from Sonic Adventure 1, Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed, and then maybe a track from Bayonetta where we're jumping from falling buildings, or even a track based on Santa Destroy from No More Heroes. All those would be amazing. Genuinely, I think it'd be so cool. Finally, as for quality of life, I think there's a couple things. First, make the jukebox system actually just overall better. Make it similar to like Tekken 8 in a way, which Tekken 8 allows you to pick music based on the first couple rounds, but for the final round you have special music that you can actually select when you're about to win the game. So I think that'd be really cool. And then not only that, can we please change settings from the online menu, for the love of God? Like, I don't know why we have to back out at all just to change settings. I think that's so freaking stupid. It makes it so freaking annoying to play the game. I absolutely hate it. From a question from Dreamrika asks, what do you think about the new Drift Kit having mini Quick Charge 1? So honestly, this is not too hard to answer. I think it's really cool that there is a mini Quick Charge variant to Quick Charge 1. I honestly think it's not really that good. It doesn't really matter, but it is really fun to mess around with it with Drift Spinner. But it's weird that it's on its kit and it's not just a one-shot on its own, or they didn't just like fix Quick Charge 1 itself. I find it just a little goofy. Going into some questions on Discord, a question from Chrissy. Now, Chris asked, when are you going to do an Among Us stream? Well, shit. So, I don't think I'm going to be doing an Among Us stream anytime soon. Honestly, I would like other types of games. I think Among Us, I've played it before. I didn't really find it to be the most fun, but it was definitely fun with the social aspect. I don't think it would be the game I would like to stream at all going forward, but hey, if there's enough people that want to play it, I would absolutely be down to. Going into a question from Commander Buzzo, what would be my dream Crossworlds collab? Alright, I'm just gonna be real. My dream Crossworlds collab is literally just No More Heroes X Crossworlds. The fact that I want Travis in this game so badly should already signify enough that I want this. I think he's just such a goofy, funny character that they could make some really funny like sound effects or voice lines for. And not only that, if they add Travis Touchdown, they could potentially even add like motorcycles or something, because his main vehicle is a motorcycle. It'd be so freaking cool if they did this. I think it would actually make the impact of Crossworlds a lot heavier in my heart, so I would actually love the game a lot more. And genuinely, if it's not this collab, the DLC characters getting voice actors X Crossworld collab would actually be really fucking nice. I would like to actually hear hear, Pac-Man go like waka 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 instead of, that'd be fucking cool. Also, add Lanolin, please, for the love of God. Now, a question from Sai. Sai has a question about why did you start making YouTube content, and did you think you would never hit 1K this fast? Also, would you make other video game content like Mario Kart, Pokemon, or Smash Brothers? So, let's get to the first part here. I made YouTube content kind of on a whim just because I really wanted to try something new as a hobby, and I really wanted to just speak with a lot of people. I wanted to bring up discussions, I wanted to talk with people. I thought it'd just be a lot of fun, genuinely. I didn't think I would actually hit 1,000 subs within about 6 months of actually starting content creation. I thought it wouldn't happen until maybe a full year passed. The fact that I even hit 1K in 6 months makes me feel like I hit it pretty fast, and I am very thankful. It is something I didn't think I would ever do, especially because my videos feel like they're garbage, genuinely. When it comes to making other content for games, I'm definitely planning on making new content very soon. I think the problem is that Crossworlds is in a very heavy, struggling position right now, where it's not only quite difficult to just want to play the game, but it's also very difficult to make content on the game as well, because most of the time, it's legitimately like one thing completely overshadows everything else, so it makes it hard to even find good ideas to talk about, and I have to get like really creative, or I have to find like ideas from other content creators, and I have to try to mesh them in such a way where I'm not just blatantly stealing their idea for a different like video and then only just slapping it on and then doing it in the form of Crossworlds. I want to try to make these more unique so that way I'm not just blatantly stealing from people, right? It's very hard to do that genuinely because it feels like Crossworlds just doesn't have a lot going on for it, doesn't have a lot of content that it can be made on, and every time you try to make content, in my opinion at least, it's hard to make good content that it doesn't just get overshadowed by something else. I think what makes it worse is that I started playing Crossworlds with a lot of hours constantly playing and going for world records, which I hit a couple of them. It was a ton of fun, but now I've only been averaging maybe like 10 to 15 hours a week, and that's all just from streaming or doing offline stuff so I can get video content or getting like images and stuff like that. But right now I do currently stream variety on Twitch, and I am planning on trying to find another game or a series of games that I can call my home for content creation. I know it's going to cost me a lot of subs, a lot of views, especially going forward, but I think half the battle of making content creation, in my opinion, is not only just making what you like, but also doing what you enjoy. And I feel like if I'm not enjoying the content I'm creating, which I currently am not with Crossworlds, I'm struggling to find good things to talk about. So I've even tried making multiple videos, and all those videos I've scrapped because I feel like they were just so bad that no one will want to watch them. I really think it's even worse that I'm not enjoying the game as much, so making content on Crossworlds has just been harder each and every day. But I am trying to make content still because I do love this game still. It's just very difficult at this current time. Question from Shiny Snorlax. Shiny Snorlax asked, do I think there are any gadgets that need entire reworks? I think there are 3 main gadgets in this game, easily, that need entire reworks, those being Friction Drift, Second Wind, and Less is More. These gadgets all legitimately punish you for doing something that you're supposed to be doing correctly. Let's talk about Less is More. Less is More punishes you for collecting rings. I feel like to fix this, it should not only be a 2-slot, but it should have natural ring regression in it, and instead of just being a direct inverse of the ring speed table, it should be gradually giving you less speed as you collect more rings. So like after 10 rings, you go down maybe like -2 speed or something, rather than losing 7 for collecting 1. I think that's a horrible decision. I think you should be rewarded for having less rings, but not actively punished for collecting 1 or 2. Secondly, Second Wind is a gadget that gives you a wisp after you fall off the track, which I think that's stupid. You're getting punished for not going and just like jumping off the bridge, I think Second Wind should give you a wisp after you get crushed. I think this would actually make it viable as a 1-slot option, where if you get hit by a bomb, you get a wisp or something. I think that'd be really cool. It'd be an interesting idea, even if they think it's too strong. I mean, put it at a 2-slot, I guess. But I think it would be a really cool idea, at least. And then finally, for Friction Drift, I think Friction Drift as a gadget should not only give you more traction when you're drifting, but instead of losing 10 flat speed to actually actively drift, you should only lose about 3 to maybe 5 speed at most. It would overall make it better and give it a niche on Blizzard Valley and Sand Road and even Holoska, where you have these lower traction zones where Friction Drift can actually be taken advantage of much easier and make it easier to actually maneuver around these tracks. From Kenzie, how did you get so goofy? The best answer I got for you is by potentially undiagnosed autism. Genuinely, I have no clue. I'm just a goofy individual. I like to just goof around and make people laugh. That's my only thing. From Carmel. Oh no. Oh god. No! So, Carmel's a few too many questions here, so I'm going to answer 3 of them, with the first one being, what do you think of us as members of your community? I honestly think of everyone in my community as a friend, if at all possible. We may not always see eye to eye with each other, but I think we're all trying to have fun and grow as people. Like, genuinely, I try to be friends with as many people as I can. I know it's not possible, but I think everyone in my community is a good friend of mine, or at least a friend in general. What drives me? Honestly, what drives me personally is just the will to want to succeed and become not only a good person and player in a video game or in general, but also someone that is able to be humble as well. I would just want to be the best version of myself as possible. I know there are times where I can act egotistical and brag and boast about my achievements, but I try not to because I don't want to be seen as like this super douchebag. I want to be seen as someone that's like a good player that understands fundamentally like the games I play or things of that nature, but also I'm humble enough to understand that I can improve and learn from players. Even if players think they're worse than me, I can still learn from them in some way, shape, or form. I try to be as humble as I can, but I know I can be a problem. Finally, have I ever been self-conscious while I'm recording, editing, streaming, or posting at all? Yes, I have. Very heavily. Every time I have to edit a video, I am just listening to myself and I'm like, Jesus, this guy sounds like a fucking idiot. Who is this guy? And I'm like, I pull up my mirror and I'm like, oh shit, he's ugly too. But all seriousness, like, I try to avoid as many issues as possible. I fear the fact that I'm going to say something wrong or make a bad joke, and due to my ignorance, I'm going to make a lot of mad folks or a lot of enemies because I did something wrong. I try to avoid this as much as possible, and I try to be a perfectionist in a lot of ways, trying to lower that standard because I think being a perfectionist is what's actually unhealthy for me. But I am trying to be the best person I can. I don't want to make enemies with people if at all possible, but I know it's going to end up happening anyways. Next, going from Very asks, what is my favorite video game genres? And my favorite video game genres, unironically, are fighting games and the RPG/JRPG genre. They either push my intelligence and skill as an individual, or they cause me to problem solve and just in general, overall get involved in the atmosphere of a game, and I just get very in depth with the game. Especially with JRPG and RPGs, I get just so involved in these games that I can legitimately binge these for multiple hours at a time, and sometimes I've even had moments where I almost miss classes. It's a problem. But I really love fighting games and the RPG, JRPG genres. They're very, very fun. I think a close third would be like survival horror maybe, or whatever Fatal Frame's genre currently is. I actually really love it now. I am very scared of horror games, but I think honestly whatever genre game Fatal Frame falls under is just really, really fun. Next, on to a question from Doll. Are there any YouTubers or streamers that have heavily inspired me? To say for certain, no actually. I don't think there has been a YouTuber or streamer that has inspired me. Don't get me wrong, I've watched a lot of YouTubers, but I didn't watch a lot of streams, so I never really got inspired by anyone in particular. But for YouTubers, I watch a lot of people that do like shitposty or for fun content. Like you have people like Smitty, right, who make really funny videos and do a lot of sound effect editing, which if you look at some of my first couple videos, that's kind of what I was trying to do with some sound effect edits. But I found that I like discussion posting way more and it feels more natural to me. And I like having like a story-based stuff a little bit, but I also like in general just talking hypothetical. So I would say no one in particular inspired me. I just kind of did it on a whim, just wanting to strike up conversations with people and trying to help inform players on anything interesting or new about a game like Crossworlds. And I would hope to do the same going forward with any variety content I make. Next, going on to the next question from Commander hey, wait a minute, Buzzo again? Alright, let's talk about this. So, what is my favorite video I've ever made? I want to say that out of all the videos I've made, even though my best video is my Ring Engine video, I want to say that my favorite video is honestly my Legend Comp 1 video called Legend Comp 2000 without level 4, the Crossworlds Miracle, ? And there's a reason why there's a question mark there. This video genuinely was the video I put my heart and soul into the most, and it's the one video that I legitimately wrote a script for. I've never written a script for any video. I do everything just like off a whim, and I just speak my mind a lot of the time. Sometimes I'll redo like takes and things of that nature without a script, but I don't usually do scripts at all. And I genuinely thought it was probably my favorite video of all time to make. I laughed every time at that video. Like, I laughed so much. I got my heart like dedicated into it. I felt like just so engulfed in the video itself. And I posted the video, and within about 4 or 5 hours of posting it, I think it only had 80 views, and I was about to go to bed. And I literally sat there like legitimately thinking of quitting. Like, I was on the verge of quitting content creation and streaming as a whole. And I pretty much said to myself, like, if this video doesn't get 500 views by the time 24 hours has passed, I'm just done with content creation, and I would just fully give up on everything related to YouTube and Twitch. And would you know it, I woke up to having, I think it was 574 views in the morning after it being posted for I think about 16 hours, because I didn't check it immediately when I woke up. I checked it a few hours after. And genuinely, like, that, seeing that my video actually succeeded and I got more than like 100 views, I genuinely was ecstatic. Like, it made me so happy to the point, like, I was like, thank God I put my heart and soul in this. It got the views that I was hoping it would, even if it wasn't perfect. If it wasn't for the fact that the people that watched it put it up to around 600 views, I legitimately wouldn't be here. I would have quit long ago, and I would not have made any more videos or streamed any more than I already did. From Pasta Man. Pasta asks, what was my favorite genre of music and or my favorite singer or band? When it comes to my favorite genres, I'm a massive rock and metal fan, easily, and I also love video game music and video game OST. So it's hard to say, but I think rock and metal easily are my number 1 and 2 genres, without a doubt. And when it comes to my favorite bands, I would say my favorite bands are Nine Inch Nails, Monuments, and As It Lay Dying. Those are my top 3, genuinely, with a really close 4th and 5th from Spirit Box and Bring Me the Horizon. I think all of these are just amazing bands. They have amazing music. They all hype me up, and I can always jam to them to just about anything. Those 5 bands are honestly some of the best when it comes to keeping me in a good mood all the time. Now, on to the second to last question, one from my boy Metal himself, my OG teammate from my Crossworlds team. He asked, what keeps pushing you to do better? And honestly, the thing that pushes me to do better is mainly a mix of personal drive, my motivation, and my willpower as a person, and just in general, just the best version of myself that I can, and just trying to always improve at any chance possible. I think that's the best way to put it, is like, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to provide the best content I can for people as well. And I feel like if I let myself think I'm good in the current moment, I will end up being worse off overall, and I'll never improve. Finally, the last question, one from Grizzly Season, and I believe this is the question he asked. This was a long time ago when I was planning on making a Q&A video at about 200 subs. He's another OG friend from my first Crossworlds team. He asked, why do you enjoy getting stuff thrown at you while streaming on Twitch? So, for the people that don't know at all and don't watch me during my streams, I have what's called TITS, which is Twitch Interactive Throw System, whatever it's called. And it's a really funny system. It's super, super funny. I find it very enjoyable to get stuff thrown at me, mainly because it gives everyone a chance to just have fun and be their natural self, just goof around and get a quick laugh, genuinely. I think it just gets people to enjoy the stream and interact with the stream more. But it also is just the fact that it's super funny, and I find it super funny. There's no better answer than that. Genuinely, if it wasn't for the fact that the throw system was a thing, I think a lot less people would enjoy my streams, because I can be very bland at times, but I try not to be. But the throw system makes everything so much better, genuinely. I love it. I think it's just great. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you got some of the answers that you were looking for. Hopefully you learned a few things about me. I know these questions didn't go like super in depth in my personal life, but I honestly think that all these questions were amazing in their own rights. I thank everyone that got involved with this. I thank everybody that wanted to provide me with a question, genuinely, or multiple questions. I tried to give everyone at least a fair chance of asking questions, because I know some people only asked 1, a couple people asked 3, one person asked 20, but I tried to make sure everyone had a fair chance to get a question in and ask me a couple things. I know, again, not everyone did, but I am thankful nonetheless, and I am so thankful that I've hit 1,000 subs, and I really hope that going forward by the end of this year, my goal for the end of the year when it comes to subscribers, I want to say maybe 3,000 by the end of the year, if at all possible. I think it's a very, very deep hole to climb out of to go for 3,000, and especially if I wanted to go for 5,000, but I hope I can make it, genuinely. I hope I can make it to 3,000. I think at the bare minimum, I would like at least 1,500 subscribers by the end of this year. That'd be my big goal. I know it's probably not going to happen. I have a long road ahead of me to improve upon, but I am going to try my hardest to make better content. I'm going to try my hardest to provide you guys with some really cool things going forward, and I'm going to provide you guys with some more variety stuff, so that way you don't have to sit here through like 3-4 days of waiting for an upload since I'm trying to edit too much, or I have school or IRL things. So anyways, guys, have yourselves a great one. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the Fatal Frame video that's going to be coming out soon. See you in the next one. I have the Wisp for later, which is nice.